And good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don in here with you on Monday, July 29th, 2024. It is 5:38 p.m. Central, and we have some strong thunderstorms around East Alabama and West Georgia. At the moment, we have no severe warnings for the particular area, though we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings up in northwest Georgia. First thing I want to do is talk about what we have right here at home. So let's go back to the radar, and we'll start over in East Alabama, and we're going to be talking about the southeastern corner of Talladega, the extreme southwest corner of Clay, and then north and east central sections of Coosa County. You see it right there on the screen. This is a severe not a severe thunderstorm, but a very strong thunderstorm that is situated right there around Sylacauga, between Sylacauga and Weguffka. As we get the telestrator going here, we'll show you right there. That is the strongest part of this storm, and it's sliding off in this general direction. So it's probably going to come pretty close to Alexander City. If you're down here on Lake Martin, heads up on this one. I'm not sure it makes it over into the Davison area. Probably will stay to the south of Ashland. I think it's just going to clip the southwestern and maybe south central sections of Clay, but it does look like it will make it down here in Talladega County over the next, Tallapoosa County, I should say, over the next 15, 20 minutes or so. So we'll clear that, and we'll talk about, let me give you the verbiage on this special weather statement. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, but I'll read it to you as well. At 5:25 p.m., strong thunderstorm will impact southeastern Talladega, southeastern, that should be southwestern Talladega, southeastern Shelby, Coosa, and southwestern Clay counties through 6:30 p.m. At 5:25 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms along a line from Childersburg to near Unity. Movement was to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. Wind gusts to 40 miles per hour will be the main threat with this storm. There is some lightning with it. Of course, you got heavy rainfall, but the storm is moving at 40 miles per hour, so it's moving along at a pretty good clip. Then we'll go back to the north. We have a special weather statement that has been issued for Gadsden and then down into portions of Calhoun, which will include the greater Anniston area and Jacksonville and Piedmont. This is going to be for a strong storm up near Gadsden that's moving to the southeast. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, which is up around Center and Galesville. This is in Alabama, back over toward Collins. And then in northwest Georgia, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in place now just northwest of Rome, near Cave Springs, Somerville, and then a new severe thunderstorm warning between Dalton and Ellijay. All of these are moving to the southeast, so heads up places like Jasper, Dayersville, Rome, Cartersville, Cedartown, Rockmart, all of those storms moving in your general direction. And probably Carroll County as well, though it's going to be a little bit before this storm north of Gadsden gets down into the Carrollton area. If it holds together eventually, you'll have to deal with it too, Carrollton. And then the other, and I'm going to get to the other areas in just a second. I'm going to want to show those areas that have the strongest storms right now. Then we have a strong storm to the southeast of Peachtree City, moving to the southeast. Heads up Griffin, Barnesville. This is in Georgia. And then down in Lee County, The extreme southern reaches of Lee County. We're talking below Beauregard. We have a strong cell that's basically moving right along Highway 80 south of Beauregard. So we have that little bitty boot for Lee County that sticks down to the south that's under a special weather statement. That's going to move off to the east. Places like Columbus, maybe Phoenix City will have to deal with this in an hour or so. I think it stays south of Smith Station. So we'll go back to the wide view, and you can see copious number of special weather statements in South Georgia. For a strong line there. We have some severe weather down just north of Tallahassee, Florida as well. But across East Alabama and West Georgia, that's what we're looking at this hour. Now, we have some storms near Mount Cheaha down through Delta and just to the north of Lineville. That stretches back into Randolph County out there on Highway 48 near Flat Rock Park. Those are not strong. I mean, I would call them strong, but they're not special weather statement criteria at the moment, and they're certainly below severe levels at the moment. But you don't want to be out there on the lake. I mean, if you're out here on Lake Wedowee, it's time to put the boat up. You got storms in the area. Lightning is popping around. There's one strike that just took place out there pretty close to the 48 bridge. So that's just too close to the water. You don't need to be out there. And then we have some showers developing extreme northwest Troup County to the northwest of LaGrange. Again, nothing severe across East Alabama and West Georgia. The severe weather that we do have ongoing at this hour is going to be a cluster of thunderstorms that moved out of Tennessee. Now, they're not as strong as they were about an hour ago up around Chattanooga. Those storms were kicking tail pretty good when they came through. But we do still have a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings, again, to the southeast of Dalton, just north of Rome, and then back over in Alabama. We have some severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing near Center Alabama, Cedar Bluff, back over toward Collinsville, along the I-59 corridor to the north of Gadsden. So we will zoom back out. I'm going to change radars for just a moment. We'll take that out and we'll go over to the NextRad Pro. And I want to give this just a second to load. And let me get the chat room pulled up. We kind of went in pretty quick on this one. Didn't have everything set just exactly like it normally is. But okay, we got that going now. We'll start to see those comments here in just a few moments, maybe. Don't see any yet. So anyway, we're here this afternoon just kind of give you an update on what we're seeing around the area. And there you go. We've got the radar NextRad Pro up now. A brand new severe thunderstorm warning to the southeast of Peachtree City. This is going to be just west of 75. Near Griffin, south of Hampton, just south of Brooks, just barely south of the National Weather Service office in Atlanta. Their Peachtree office is there, the radar site, only just a few miles to the southeast of the radar. So we're getting a really good look at that thunderstorm as it moves off to the southeast. That's over in Georgia. Back in Alabama, again, you can see that we have a couple of special weather statements, one that's just barely touching southern Lee County. Special weather statement for southern Talladega, extreme southwestern Clay, northern, central, and eastern Coosa. That's going to be the strongest storm in our neck of the woods, if you will. And that is going to move very close to Alexander City as it moves off to the southeast. We'll put this in motion. Tremendous amount of lightning with this thing. The clouds look pretty ominous. If you're down here at Alexander City looking back into the storm, maybe you're at our town, Hyssop, you're looking back up, you're seeing a pretty good-sized wall cloud headed your way. Understand, there's no indication of any tornadic type weather. We really don't have that type of setup today. This is more of a severe thunderstorm type setup, and that's what we've got going on with just a tremendous amount of lightning in this storm. Let's go look at the base velocity, and you can see what I'm talking about. We've got some wind in here. No question about that. Stand by and let me probe this thing. There's some 35, 38. Let me see if I can catch there's a 42. Now, understand, this is in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This is not at the ground. But if you've got extremely heavy rainfall right here, and that's south, that's near Hanover. The strongest winds appear to be near Hanover. This area right here, where you see the brightest green, that's where the heaviest wind is taking place, and it's moving over 231 right there at Hanover. But that 35 to 40 mile per hour wind is up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. If we have heavy rain right here, and I know that we do, I'll take you back over to the reflectivity, and you can see we have very heavy rain right there. That heavy rain will push that wind to the ground. So very good possibility that we have some 35, 40 mile per hour winds as this storm crosses over 231 right there at Hanover. Now, when we rock this back and forth and look at this last couple of frames here, we'll see that that wind really intensified just in the last 6 to 10 minutes. And it is sliding off maybe a little bit south of due east. So I'm going to say that in time, if this holds together, places like Kellyton and Alexander City will likely deal with this gust of wind that's moving in this general direction. So if you live in a mobile home and you got tall trees around your mobile home, you want to pay attention to this. 40 mile per hour winds are certainly strong enough to bring down trees. So you kind of have to assess your situation. If you're in a sturdy stick or mortar built home, the trees can still fall and cause damage, no question, but not as much damage as what you're going to see with a mobile home. So if you're in the path of this heaviest wind, I'm gonna do a little more drawing here. All right, so the wind there and there. So pretty much if you're anywhere inside of those two lines, this wind is moving in this general direction. Now, who's to say in our next volume scan, which is about every 4 to 6 minutes, this area may not be there anymore. But if it holds together, then inside those two lines is where I would anticipate the heaviest wind to move across eastern Coosa and into western Tallapoosa County. Still have that strong storm stretching from I-20 just to the east of the 431 interchange, and then that stretches down into extreme northeastern Clay, northwestern Randolph, and really comes right down the county line. Delta, Lineville, Mad Indian Creek. just north of Ashland. If you're in Ashland looking back up to the north and northeast, this looks rough up toward Lineville. And you can kind of get a general feel for the motion on this. This is moving to the southeast, so this is moving in this general direction. So this will eventually impact Ranburne, Newell, Wedowee, probably Wadley. If it holds together, it'll make it down here to Roanoke, too. Chambers County, you're in good shape right now. If this stuff over in Coosa, about to move into Tallapoosa, holds together, then that's most likely going to affect probably Lafayette South. And then this stuff that's going to be moving into central Randolph and southern Randolph will catch that northeastern corner of Chambers. Again, if it holds together. Now, we told you this morning in our primetime forecast we expected to see this happen this afternoon, and any storms that do get going have the potential of growing pretty strong pretty quick, and that's what we're seeing happen so far this afternoon. All right, so that alert tone you hear in the background tells us that a new warning or a new special weather statement is coming out, and I think that's going to be a new one that just populated up here in northeast Alabama. They extended the severe thunderstorm warning for Cherokee County to now get the entire all the way down to the Cleburne County line. Well, let me go back over here to the chat room. We'll see if we have any questions or comments in here. There's Caroline watching us in Wedowee. Kim says, sounds like fireworks from west to east, really cloudy, County Road 43 in Wadley. You're welcome, Kim. Good to be here. There's Miss Cecilia. Hello, Doc. How you doing, Miss Cecilia? Elizabeth watching us from Auburn. Shirley watching us from Graham. There's Ray Clark. Cindy's watching us down in 5 Points. Is that the Cindy? I believe it is. Check out those folks right there at 5 Points Farms. Check them out online. You can do it at fivepointsfarms.com. We appreciate them being a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather. Could not do it without them. Hey, Mike, so the alarm gets your attention? Well, that's the intent. We're working on some things on the back end. We're really having to get creative to be able to get the warnings and the messages to auto-populate here. So I don't have that part ready to go. I've got it working, but I'm not confident enough to actually air it just yet. But hopefully by the next time we cover severe weather, every warning, special weather statement, and watch that's issued will automatically populate at the bottom of the screen. Right now I have to put it in manually, and this is a one-man show, so that's kind of hard to do manually. So we're getting it set up so that it happens automatically. We got it working pretty good offline. I just want to test it some more before we actually start using it. And that alert tone, that bong that you hear in the background, is going to be to let you know that we have a new advisory coming in, whether it be a special weather statement, a flood warning, severe thunderstorm, or tornado watch or warning. And Jonathan says, hello from Hollis Crossroads. Hey, Dakota. Good to see you. Thank you. Tyus, Georgia in the house. There's Pamela. Potash. getting waves on Lake Wedowee at Foster's Landing. I suspect you are. Not a good day to be on the lake this afternoon. Murphy, North Carolina in the house. Hey, Stephanie Taylor, good to have you in here with us. Let's look at Murphy. Not much happening up there. In case you don't know this, Stephanie, I'm actually pretty close to you. I'm right down here in northeast Georgia. I'm down in White County, Georgia, just south of Helen, if you know where that's at. And most folks up in this area do. I'm an Alabama transplant. I spent 22 years down here in Roanoke, Alabama. I was in broadcast radio. I even did television for about 3 years. So weather was my thing down there, and everybody in that part of the country knows it. And unfortunately, East Alabama and parts of West Georgia get left out by the major media players in Birmingham and Atlanta. So I fill that niche. I'm able to give those folks of East Alabama and West Georgia the severe weather coverage that they deserve just like anybody else. And the big guys in Atlanta and Birmingham can't do it. It's all a matter of numbers and dollars, and I mean, it is. Whether it sounds right or should be that way or not, that's the way it is. So I can do that here with technology the way that it is. So that's why we're here doing this. Oh, let's see. I had a question there. Cecilia, I'd love to come set up at a function in Lafayette. You let me know when and where. Y'all have something, some big Founders Day festival or, I don't know, whatever's going on in Lafayette. Let me know about it. Give me some contact information on who to get in touch with. And I would love to come set up in Lafayette, Alabama. That holds true for any location around East Alabama or West Georgia. The next event that we know we'll be at is going to be the Festival on Main Street, and that is in October. So I know we'll be there. But look, we'd love to get out and hug necks and meet folks, and we'll be more than happy to come to your community. Just let me know when the next big event's coming up and who to get in touch with, and we'll make it happen. We don't have any warnings right now for anywhere in East Alabama or West Georgia. You got to get over there south of Peachtree City to get in the warning criteria. So that storm that's coming into Randolph out of Clay that's going to affect Wedowee and Roanoke and probably Wadley, most likely is going to affect Woodland and Graham as well, and Rock Mills, is strong. It's not severe, but it is strong. Roanoke, you're probably... Now, hold on. We don't have a storm marker on that one, so it's hard to kind of give you an exact time. But, probably within the next 30 minutes for Roanoke. Thanks, Cecilia. Look forward to hearing back from you. I'd love to come down there. Hey, Summer, I look forward to being there for Fall on Main as well. Wadley, you're going to get some of this stuff also. Again, we're talking about the biggest threat here is going to be probably the biggest threat for the Clay Randolph storm is going to be 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gust. Well, let's just go over there and look, see what the winds are looking like. We'll switch back to the velocity. No question here. The worst of this is going to be just west of Newell in Randolph, and I think the highest I'm seeing is about 33. There's a 29. There's a 34. So we got 34 mile per hour wind right here. And we will throw the reflectivity back on. Yeah, so you've got very heavy rainfall right there. And we've got that 30, 35 mile per hour wind aloft. So that heavy rain will push that wind to the ground. So let's go to street level. We're talking just south of Morrison Crossroads, just to the north of Wedowee Marine. That is going to be a special weather statement coming in now for a strong thunderstorm. That's that storm coming out of Coosa into Tallapoosa. At 6:04 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm near Kellyton, moving to the southeast at 25 miles per hour, wind gust of 50 miles per hour on that storm. And we'll go look at that again here in just a few moments. But in Randolph County, this is the strongest part of this storm now, just south of Morrison's Crossroads. And it's moving in this general direction. So heads up Woodland, Highway 48, Woodland and north. I think that's where the heaviest part of this storm will cross over. I'll give you some roads here. Old Highway 431, just south of Morrison's Crossroads. County Road 248. County Road 249, County Road 134, County Road 289, 532 is in advance of the storm, 501, 432, County Road 82, County Road 534, they're just south of Newell, County Road 59 just south of Newell. All of these locations are in the path of the strongest wind in this particular storm that's moving to the east, probably looking at 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gust here. And that's your northern Randolph County storm. We look a little bit to the south in Randolph. Now you got some 20-mile-an-hour winds to the northwest of Roxton. I don't see anything particularly dangerous there. Maybe around Ashland, we got some 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. We've got some broad rotation here near Clay Central High School, but it's broad, very broad. I mean, that's pretty typical for these type storms. I don't see anything to be concerned about right there. And it's also in the wrong section of the storm, so that's probably an anomaly. Coming from the radar side. See, is Montgomery radar back up or is it still down? No, it looks like it's back up. Let's look at this from Montgomery. Let's go back to the velocity on this. Yeah, see, now looking at it from Montgomery, you don't see those couplets. So that was an anomaly coming off of Birmingham, I would have to guess. All right, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning now that's being issued for Tallapoosa and Coosa. So let's go back over to velocity or reflectivity. Zoom out and let's go down here. We're going to spend some time talking about this one because we've got a severe thunderstorm warning now for this storm. It'll populate on the screen here in just a few moments. And I'll read the text of this warning to you. The National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Elmore County in east central Alabama, central Tallapoosa County in east central Alabama, southern Coosa or southeastern Coosa County in east central Alabama until 7 p.m. And there's the warning just populating on the screen. At 6:08 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located near Wind Creek State Park or near Alexander City, moving to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and you can expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. So there you go. 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible with this storm. Let's probe it right quick and see what we are picking up on this end. And we definitely have, there's a 56. Oh, 59 right there. So I concur with what the Weather Service is saying. And this is that area that we were watching just a few moments ago. There's your strongest wind right there. And that's the part of the storm that the National Weather Service is warning for. And it's moving pretty much in this direction. So I think the wind issue is probably going to be somewhere in here. Now, understand there's a margin of error. That's why cones spread out over time, because there is a margin of error on the exact motion of these type storms. And I'm not even sure that looks really good. Let me try that again. If there are no errors in the motion on this, then the heaviest wind is going to track in that suggested area. But hey, look, Alexander City, Dadeville, our town, you guys are all close enough to this. You need to treat this with respect. And that's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now. Ooh, wow, look at that. Folks, that's almost off the chart. And what this is telling us is that we have incredible rainfall taking place right along Highway 280. There may be some hail mixed in with this, but honestly, I don't see any hail markers to suggest this is hail. So I would imagine that most of this is just extremely heavy rainfall. And it stretches from Jackson's Gap all the way back to Alexander City along Highway 280. That's not very common. You don't see this kind of rain rate very often. Okay, so we do have a 50 to 60% chance that we do have some hail taking place in those areas. Let's see what the estimated size is. All right, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in now. This new one is going to be for eastern Calhoun, Cleburne, southeastern Cherokee, and northeast Alabama. So let's take this back to reflectivity. I mean, that's just wicked looking there. Well, now we go back to the reflectivity, and some of this isn't there. So that last shot may have been an anomaly as well. But it's still extremely heavy rainfall. I mean, 280 is a no-go from Jackson Gap all the way, really, look at that, all the way back to near Stewartville before you get out of the rain. So that's a huge rainmaker going on right there. Some flash flooding issues would not at all surprise me before too much longer here. All right, so let's zoom out, and let me go up and show you the new severe thunderstorm warning. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning, again, for eastern Calhoun, Cleburne County, and southeastern Cherokee County until 7:15 p.m. 6:14 severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from near Forney to near Alexandria, moving to the southeast at 40 miles per hour. If that storm stays the exact size that it is right now, that may certainly come very close to Ranburne. It may clip extreme northeast Randolph. Certainly going to be an issue for Carroll County and probably up there toward Bremen as well, if that cluster holds together. Nothing from the Weather Service on the Randolph County storm. Just stand by. I'm looking at some things here to see if we have any damage reports. I don't see anything of any great significance so far. The Weather Service is telling us strong downdraft winds are likely in this storm also that's coming out of Coosa into Tallapoosa. So we will go look at the downdraft potential, maybe. All right, so there's your downdraft potential, and you can see clearly that the potential is pretty good from Goodwater all the way down to Alexander City, and then right along 280 all the way down to Dadeville. Better than average chance we could be looking at some downdraft. Now, there's a hail marker that just populated. 100% chance of hail at about a ½ inch in diameter. That is below severe limits. Again, very, very easy to detect where the wind is. It's right there. That's your wind. That's the highest wind in this storm. There's a 56. "50 to 60 mile per hour winds are certainly possible." And the strongest wind is going to be in the vicinity of Wind Creek State Park, our town, just to the southeast of Fish Pond, crossing over, what is that, 63? Yep, 63. It's going to cross over 63 right at our town. I mean, between our town and Kalijah. It's where the strongest winds are currently occurring with this storm. Let me just look at the rest of these storms right quick while we've got the velocity up. This storm really is headed almost directly at the Montgomery radar site, so we ought to really get some good radar image out of this. Going back up to the north, we got a strong storm over in Talladega County. This is the second one they've had in the last couple of hours. Then a strong storm in Randolph, though it's below severe limits. It's crossing over Highway 48 between Wedowee, right through the Ava community. Yeah, basically from Swag to Ava to New Hope, down to Wedowee, and then over toward Woodland. Again, this is below severe limits. We're looking at probably some gusty 20, 25 mile per hour winds. Just doing a quick scan. I can't even find a 20. Well, close to a 20 right there. 20.6 miles per hour. Just to the northwest of Woodland. And then we have it, a small thunderstorm that stretches back down toward Rockstand, just to the west of 431. It'll cross over 431 at Rockstand. And then just northern part of that will catch Roanoke. You can kind of see the direction it's going to move. I'm not sure, Roanoke, you get a whole lot out of this, and you're going to catch this small section down here at the southern end of all of this, from Rockstand down to just north of Dickert. That's what's going to move through Roanoke. Got a shower down here in southeastern Clay. That's probably going to be Wadley's portion of the storm. One strong, very small cell now sitting just north of Lafayette. As we zoom back out, you get a better idea of where the storms are and their direction of movement. I'm going to switch back to, let's take Peachtree City. Still Waters Resort watching us this afternoon. And that's down here in the path of this thing. So there's Stillwater's right there, down there on Lake Martin. So Stillwater's, you're definitely in this warning. And it is... There's a lot going on the screen that really makes it hard to see. Let me see if I can clear up some of that. All right. That helps a little bit. Let's get that special weather statement off. There we go. Now let's go back to the velocity. I want to see. Yeah, it doesn't look to me like we have the wind as strong as we did just a few moments ago. I mean, now, looking at it from, I've switched back to Birmingham. Let's go back to Montgomery because that's not showing me a good look here. Hey, Tammy, what you sad about? Dakota said, thundering pretty good here in the Randolph-Corinth Level Road community. All right, I'm going to go back. Now keep in mind, I've taken the severe thunderstorm polygon off the screen because that was making it kind of hard to see. All right, so looking at it from Montgomery, we're still showing some pretty good wind down here just north of Kalijah. Between our town and Kalijah. Let me go back to the reflectivity. Let's look at it from Birmingham. All right, so Kay says that she was at Wind Creek and had very strong wind. It should, I mean, I'm sure it's still windy, but it should have been stronger just a few moments ago than it is right this moment. All right, so Kay, you can search for me on Messenger. Just search Don Strength on Messenger, and you can send it to me that way. I will go check Jacksonville here in just a second. I wanted to look at this from all three angles. I'm not sure I believe that Montgomery data. Well, I got some 35 down there just north of Kalijah. From Birmingham, I'm getting about 50 out of Montgomery. Montgomery is certainly closer to the storm than Birmingham is, and Atlanta's not giving me anything at all much to be concerned about. So I would say you got 30 to 40 mile per hour winds here between Kalijah and our town. And Kay is confirming that there at Wind Creek State Park. And the outer edge of the heaviest wind moved through where Kay is watching us from just a few moments ago, and she's confirming that a canopy blew all on top of a camper. All right, we're going to look at the velocity. I think somebody wanted me to check that storm up there east of Jacksonville. Yeah, I'm seeing some 20s. Yeah, 20, 25 mile per hour winds maybe. Let's check it from Atlanta. Looking rough up there in upper Omaha. You know, there's an upper Omaha, lower Omaha. There is a metro Omaha, east and west. Ooh. All right, looking from Atlanta. Just northwest of Coldwater. I'm seeing some 60 mile per hour winds up there. Again, understand this is not at the ground, but if we have very heavy rainfall right there, can push that wind to the ground pretty easily. So maybe some 50 to 60 right there between just northwest of Coldwater. Same thing up there just south of Cedartown. 20 to 35, maybe 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gust in Randolph County, just to the east of Wedowee. That's going to be back over there near Napoleon, Potash, Big Springs, Haywood, north of Tin Shop. Now the heaviest winds are in Potash, Big Springs, about to head into Heard County. That's just below special weather statement criteria. And you can see that storm in Randolph County, pretty strong over there in that same area I was just talking about. Big Springs down to High Shoals, about to move into Heard County. Just south of Napoleon, south of New Hope. Things should start improving in Wedowee. So the Weather Service out of Atlanta telling us I'm just giving Metro Atlanta a heads up here. I believe they're going to extend this warning further south. Let me see which one they're talking about. Yeah, so Cobb and southern Cherokee counties, this is in Georgia, about to go under a severe thunderstorm warning. They actually had some rotation with this storm a few minutes ago. That indication of rotation has since disappeared off of radar, but the Weather Service talking about when they initially issued that warning, they tagged it with a possible tornado. They dropped that tag now. The main reason we are here at the moment is going to be for this severe thunderstorm warning. The polygon has changed a bit now. If you're up here in Alexander City, you're no longer in the warned area. Now, I know you still got thunder, you still got lightning, you still got heavy rain taking place right there in Alexander City. But this is being warned because of the wind, the 40 to 60 mile per hour wind that's possible in this storm. And that has since moved on down toward Dadeville, Bama Park, Camp Hill. You're right there on the edge of this. Kalijah, Our Town. That's where the greatest danger is with this storm. And to be quite honest with you, probably right there around Dadeville. That's where the most lightning is occurring right now anyway. Though it's not a beautiful sunny day in Alexander City at the moment either. It's just that the severe part of this is downstream now, down around Dadeville. Strong storms continue in Clay County over on the southwest side, southeast side, from just south of Ashland, all the way down to around Daviston. Raining heavily now at New Site. This heavy rain near Cooley Crossroads and back toward the mountain community will slide right into southwest Randolph, so heads up Wadley. And then you see what's happening over here at Chambers Springs, Millerville, Brownsville. That stretches over into Talladega County near Waldo. And downtown Talladega is getting hammered at the moment as well. And then we have that severe thunderstorm warning for Cherokee County, Alabama. I'm sorry, northern Cleburne. Northern Cleburne. Up there around Coldwater and down around Heflin and Abernathy. Strong thunderstorm continuing there. Heflin, there you go. There's your strong thunderstorm right there, and you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Looking at the base velocity on this one, I don't see anything alarming right around Heflin. You got some 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gust maybe off to your west that are likely going to move through Heflin, but I don't see anything much more than 20 to 30 miles per hour. The main reason you're under a severe thunderstorm warning if you're in Cleburne County is very obvious right there. Coldwater down to Fruithurst. There's some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds near Coldwater and just north of Fruithurst. That area right there is where the absolute worst of it is. You can see Heflin is certainly thundering and lightning and heavy rain down here, no question. I-20 is a bad setup right now, really from Oxford all the way back toward Bremen. But these warnings this afternoon are coming out because of the wind that's involved in them. And it's clear to see in the velocity where the heaviest wind is in Cleburne right now. It's up there around Coldwater. Golly, I'm just looking at some reports coming out of Georgia. A report from 3 miles south of White, Georgia, not White County, but White, Georgia. Rain measurements indicated 3.6 inches per hour falling at one time. That's a rain rate of 3.6 inches per hour. That is off the charts. But that's what we're dealing with. These storms, this time of year, they're very proficient in rain production, especially when we have so much humidity outside. And so these storms are really producing a lot of rain. Bear with me just a minute while I update our scroll. Again, we're working on setting this up so that it does it automatically, and we're almost there. We got it working. We're just in testing mode at the moment. Clay County, Alabama. Well, you got some pretty good storms over there right now. You got heavy rainfall occurring down in the southeastern sections of the county, places like Mountain Community, Bluff Springs, Gibsonville, Cooley Crossroads. Nothing severe at the moment. And then on the west side, southwest side, Pinckneyville, back over toward Millersville, Glades, Harkins Crossroads, Chambers Springs, Weathers, and then that stretches back up into Talladega. Right now, Ashland and Lineville both look okay, though this stuff up near Waldo and Talladega is probably going to come right through Ashland and Shiloh and Corinth over in Clay County. And eventually it will make it across southwestern Randolph also, but none of that is severe. As a matter of fact, I think we just lost the severe for Tallapoosa. I think it just expired and they did not reissue it. And they're canceling the severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun. right, so National Weather Service continues the severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne. Cancels the severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun. And they allowed the Tallapoosa County warning to expire. That special weather statement that it is still showing is no longer valid as well. So we're going to wait and see what they do with the Cleburne County storm up here. See whether or not they extend that into Carroll or Randolph. Let me look at some stuff here. You still got some strong wind right there at Tallapoosa. 50-mile-per-hour wind gust, maybe. But at its height, at the height of this thing, we're looking at 65. Thought I saw a 70 in there. But anyway, 65 mile per hour, and that was back at 6:20. So that was about 15 minutes ago. Then you bring it current. And you still got a small area of very strong winds right there, just right on Highway 78, just to the west of Tallapoosa. That's north of I-20. And then between Tallapoosa and Bremen, there's some strong wind. And then right there along I-20, right there at the Alabama-Georgia state line, just north of High Point, you've got some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Other than that, we're not seeing much in the way of wind in Cleburne County. Now, you go back and hit the reflectivity. It's easy to see right there at Muscadine, just east of Muscadine, is where some of the heaviest rainfall is occurring. So here's what Georgia has done. They have now replaced the warning we had in effect earlier for this part of the line with a special weather statement. I would suspect that this severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne is probably going to be allowed to drop. If they don't cancel it early. It's supposed to go till 7:15, and they're warning for this part of the storm that's crossing over the state line right now. They're not warning for this stuff down in the central part of the county, just south of I-20. They're warning for this part of the storm that's moving into Georgia. So I expect to see this warning go away here in the next couple of minutes, and they may replace it with a special weather statement for Carrollton. It's possible they could go with a severe thunderstorm warning. And they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll County. So I call that one. They went a little more aggressive with it than I thought they would, but I told you it was possible they could do a warning on this one. It's justified. Though I don't think the wind field, it is as strong as it has been, but it's not as broad as it was earlier. So the National Weather Service in Peachtree City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Haralson County and southwestern Carroll County until 8:15. At 7:48, a severe thunderstorm was located near Tallapoosa, or 10 miles southwest of Buchanan, moving to the southeast at 35. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail will be the main impact from this storm. Locations like Carrollton, Bremen, Tallapoosa, Bowden, Mount Zion, Waco, John Tanner State Park, Bowden Junction, and Tyus are in the path of this storm. And again, there's no question we've got strong weather happening here in Cleveland County, but I'm telling you, they're warning for that part of the storm right there. That's where your wind is. Well, we just got a new volume update, so let's... right in here. And it's moving in this general direction. Let me go back to the velocity. Let's probe it again. Yeah, there it is right there. That's the severe part of this storm. And it's pretty much, well, I don't want to guess. Let's just move it. Yeah, I got it right. That's the direction it's moving. So again, I would expect to see the Cleveland County warning probably get canceled because it's got another 25 minutes before it expires. Because I'm not seeing... right on the state line, we may have some 40-mile-per-hour wind gust. That would be north of I-20. But down here in the central and southern parts of Cleburne, like down here in Ranburne, just don't see it. There's really no wind to speak of down there, according to radar. And again, we have lost the warning for Tallapoosa. As this storm down here has pretty much blown itself out. This thing got tremendous when it was coming out of Coosa into Tallapoosa, right there along 280 from Alexander City down to Dadeville, was off the chain. That was some of the heaviest radar returns I think I have seen in a long time, especially in this part of the country, which was indicating extremely heavy rain. We're talking, it was raining at the rate of 3 to 4 inches per hour. That's almost unheard of unless you're sitting in the middle of a hurricane. Well, not the middle because you'd be in the eye, but you get what I'm saying. The outer wall of a hurricane may get that much. There have been hurricanes that don't even produce that kind of rain. That was incredible showing up on radar. But that part of the storm has pretty much washed itself out. Now we are beginning to see this area that has been building coming out of Clay down into northeastern Tallapoosa, near Daviston, down to Pennon, just north of Marcoot. And that's a pretty good band of rain setting up right there. And And I would be willing to bet you that we've got some flash flooding taking place in here. It's approaching darkness, and if you're going to be traveling on dirt roads, and they a heap of them in this area, best idea is don't do it. If you do encounter water across a roadway, on any roadway, but especially a dirt road, don't cross it, folks. You don't know what kind of condition that roadway is in. There may be nothing under that water, but a washed out gully. Looking over now at the Randolph storm, this is going to be over on the southeast corner of Randolph. Rock Mills, back to Waresville, back over toward Glenn and Denver in Heard County. You've got some heavy rain right there, out 22 and 34, but nothing severe. I think the southern part of the Cleburne County storm is probably going to clip the northeastern corner of Randolph. Probably places like Pine Tucky, Pine Hill, Newell will get some of this Cleburne County storm as it dips to the southeast. Certainly Bucktown, Ephesus, Red Oak. But again, the severe part of this is down here in the vicinity of Mount Zion. Let's turn them reflective. The base velocity on, see if I got that right. Yeah, it was a little bit further north, but I'm still in the right area. Heaviest wind right now is up there on I-20, just south of Tallapoosa, right along I-20. And then there's some more wind over near Abilene, to the south of Bremen. Villa Rica's got some pretty good wind just north of Villa Rica. But over here in Cleburne, I don't see a whole lot happening there. Other than it's raining. It's raining like crazy. You probably got some thunder and lightning going on too. So the Weather Service issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to catch the eastern reaches of Carroll County. This is actually going to go from Atlanta all the way out I-20 to Bremen. So they're warning for this entire line. Bremen, Douglasville, Villa Rica, Carrollton, all the way over to Atlanta. Got a special weather statement coming in for Chambers County. This will be through 7:45. And that's going to be for this area. Well, there it goes. It just populated. I was about to draw it for you, but I don't have to. So there's your special weather statement for Chambers County. And that's going to be for this stuff coming out of Tallapoosa. Penn, Alabama, Marcoot, Buffalo. That's where it's at now. And the heaviest part of the storm in Chambers is between Buffalo and Penn, right there. And I really don't see any extremely strong wind. We're in the 20-mile-per-hour range. There's some stronger winds just north of Highway 50 where it crosses out of Tallapoosa into Chambers. We see some 30-mile-an-hour winds down there. Okay. Never seen that before. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm getting over sinus issues. Thank you, William. I'm telling you, at one point about 20 minutes ago, I've never seen rain rates like that, like what I was seeing in Dadeville. Yeah, it may have been a little attenuated. I mean, I'm not really sure. Radar was giving us an exact correct look at that storm, but if it was correct, that was insane. What about, welcome to the club, Ross. What about Lafayette? Well, you just went under a special weather statement. So there you go. You got a pretty good little storm coming out of Pennant, headed right straight for Lafayette. Or over here in Georgia, they call it Lafayette. We know it's Lafayette. So there's Lafayette, and you see up here around Marcoot and Buffalo, pretty heavy rainfall up there. This storm is below severe limits, but pretty good bit of lightning up there around Buffalo, between Pennant and Marcoot, and then scattered lightning all across the western side of Chambers. And that is moving directly at Lafayette. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with this storm. Dickard in the house. Hey, Hope. Folks, if you get a chance, support us financially. It helps us out tremendously. I know times are tight. I get it. But you don't, whatever you can afford, we greatly appreciate it. And if you look in the chat room, you'll see multiple different ways you can do that. All those links that are scrolling there. You can do it with Venmo. You can help us out by doing it on the Cash app. You can tip us. You can do PayPal. You can send us Facebook stars. You can send it to me on Messenger. But support us if you can. We rely on your support. All those fine folks you see on the screen that's rotating up there at the top of the screen, and all the folks you see scrolling down there at the bottom of the screen, they help us out also. And if you own a business, if you're part of a civic organization, county or municipal government, and you'd like to be a partner with us here on Dr. Don's Weather, we would just love to have you. And all you have to do is send me a message on Messenger, and I'll tell you how you can go about doing it. Actually, we can get you signed up tonight, and I can have you started by tomorrow morning. We do a daily weather forecast. You folks have got to watch it every single day. It's called the Primetime Forecast. We normally get it out by 5 a.m. Central every single morning, unless I got something going on and I can't do it. We get that weather forecast out for you every day. It's typically between 5 and 6 minutes long. And we tell you what you can expect throughout the day. And if you watched us this morning, you knew this was a good possibility. We were going to be dealing with strong storms this afternoon because we talked about it. Also, if you don't do anything else, two things. Do the social media stuff. Like us, share us. Tell your friends to share with their friends and their friends to share with their friends. Follow us. And folks, hear me out. Please listen to what I'm about to tell you. This is paramount. This is breaking news. This is a news alert. You got to go over to YouTube, subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather, and click the notification bell. I got a message from a viewer yesterday, and she had just been, she just saw our primetime forecast that we posted on July 22nd. It just popped up on her feed yesterday. Well, folks, that's the way Facebook works. If they have an algorithm and they know what you follow, they know by your clicks and what you search for what your interests are. And that's what they're going to show you on your feed. If you talk to your children all the time on Facebook, if you're constantly posting on a particular person's news feed, guess whose news feed you're going to see? That person. That's right. That's the way it works. So unless you interact with us on a daily basis or just about daily, you may not get our weather post until, hours later, maybe days later. In this case, it was almost a week later. YouTube does not work that way. YouTube uses what's called a push notification. It doesn't rely on an algorithm that tells it what your interests are. So when you subscribe to our weather channel on YouTube and click the little notification bell, as long as you have your phone notifications turned on and you're allowing YouTube to notify you, then you're going to get notified the instant we put anything out there or the instant we go live, because it works totally different. If you don't have a YouTube account, there's no big deal. It doesn't cost you a dime. And you ought to check out YouTube anyway. There's some pretty cool stuff over there. So go set up an account. I mean, it literally takes less than a minute to set up an account if you don't already have one. And make sure you follow Dr. Don's Weather on YouTube. Bottom just fell out. Where you at, Jessica? Thundering in 5 points. Hey, Miss Cindy. Thundering in West Point. I'll give Miss Cindy a call. Let her tell you all about the venue down there. If you got a special event coming up, that's who you need to be talking to. They are, we're just talking about folks supporting us. And I got to tell you, Cindy and Jeff's been with us a while. And we could not continue to do this without their support. We greatly appreciate everything that the venue does for us. Miss Cecilia up in Pennon, we're talking about doing an event. I'd love to work something out with Lafayette and or the folks down there at the venue, and maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here. I'd like to visit with everybody down there. Power going in and out in Carrollton. Yeah, you got a big one coming at you, Carrollton. Let me see what the wind is looking like. I'm going to switch back to level 2. And you've got 40-mile-an-hour winds coming through Carrollton. As a matter of fact, you had a 48. You may have had a 50-mile-per-hour gust. That is down there around Chapel Heights now, Chapel Heights Estate. But right there in Carrollton proper, you've got 30 to 40-mile-per-hour wind gust. So that would be why your power is flickering. Just south of Villa Rica, we're looking at 50 mile-per-hour winds. All along the front here, that whole front is kicking up some pretty good wind. And for you folks in extreme southeastern Cleburne, northeastern Randolph, Pine Hill, Bucktown, Bowden, Ranburn. It's raining cats and dogs right there on Highway 100 from Bucktown all the way up to Bowden, and out 166 all the way to the Alabama state line. but it's below severe limits. And I'm assuming they're just going to let this severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne expire at 7:15, which is in about another 7 minutes or so. That polygon will go away. Thundering at 5 points. Miss Cindy, that's probably going to be coming from that part of the storm south of you down there at Buffalo. And it's moving to the southeast. So you're not going to get much of this down here around Lafayette. Now, from Glen down to Standing Rock, down to 5 points, that's trying to fill in, but I don't see anything strong there. All that thunder you're hearing is coming from south of you. Now, eventually, if it holds together, all the convection you see up here in Clay from Talladega down to Ashland to Cooley Crossroads will probably end up coming across Randolph from about Wedowee south and will likely run across northern Chambers if it doesn't dissipate before it gets there. I mean, we're losing the sun, so these storms will start dissipating pretty quickly after sunset. The entire central and northern half of Atlanta Metro now under severe thunderstorm warnings. Needless to say, it's a mess in Atlanta at the moment. Yeah, not anything much happening down there in Salem. Mike says he hears some thunder off in the distance. You're getting that from this little piece up here northwestern Troup County. So you're hearing some thunder up here to the northeast of Standing Rock. Where's Crossroads? There's downtown LaGrange. And there's the storm that's moving toward LaGrange, but it is below severe limits. There's a little gust front. It was probably breezy in LaGrange just a few moments ago. We've got a little gust front developing out ahead of this. Thundering and lightning in Lafayette. Yeah, I think things are probably nice over there on the lake now at Wind Creek. Hey, Mike, yeah. I can see that. It's showing up nicely on radar. But it's nothing to be majorly concerned about. So what we're going to do, things have quietened down somewhat across East Alabama, though it's still storming. You got stormy weather down there in Lynette, no question about it. You got storms over near Ashland in Clay County, but there's nothing severe. And they should not re-intensify as we're losing the heat of the day. You do have a strong, severe storm in Carroll County from about Bucktown all the way up through Bowden and Carrollton, but that'll be slipping south of those two locations here pretty quickly as well. Heads up, I really don't anticipate the Weather Service extending this into Heard County, but if they do, it would be just for the northeast corner of Heard, and then Coweta County would be the next county in line. So Noonan, you do really need to be paying attention to what's going on to your north and west. How's the weather in Ohio? Well, by golly, don't think for 1 second I'm not going to tell you. If you ask the question, you're going to get an answer. You're going to get an answer. Let me get set up right quick. And we'll take a ride to Ohio. Well, nothing happening up near Cleveland. Toledo looks good. Mansfield, a few showers just south. Some rain out there just to the east of Columbus, Ohio, near Cambridge. Or Cushton, I believe I said that correctly. Maybe. Dayton has got some rain going on at this hour. We do have some storms in Indianapolis. There's a tornado warning just south of Muncie, near Newcastle, that's going to be running just north of I-70 that may make it into extreme western Ohio, though I think north of 70, north of Dayton, up there around Lewisburg, may be an issue there a little later on. And then, all in all, other than that small complex of storms coming out of Indianapolis that will end up north of Cincinnati, west of Columbus, things look pretty good up there in Ohio at this hour. Now, challenge me to give the weather forecast anywhere in the United States, and I will meet the mark. I don't know if y'all remember, some of you will. Back in the day, I'm such a weather geek. I worked for WLWI in Montgomery back in the 80s. And those of you in Georgia, I know you know who I'm talking about. Rhubarb Jones was the afternoon guy at WLWI in Montgomery when I was down there back in the early to mid 80s. And I was very young at that time, just really getting into broadcast radio, and I was a complete disaster. But that's when I kind of picked up on my niche, which is weather. That's what I love to do. So that's when I kind of started. Of course, I worked overnights at WLWI. I mean, I produced for Rhubarb some in the afternoons when he would go do that Where's the Rhubarb promo thing that he used to do. We'd go out and hide, and folks would have to try to come find him to win prizes. But then I mostly worked overnight. And Ruby used to pick on me because he would say, if it comes a raindrop in Moose Jaw, Alaska, that strength boy is going to give the forecast right here in Montgomery, Alabama. He used to pick at me about that all the time. But I can do it. I can do it. Now, I may not know Ohio like I do Alabama. I know Alabama like the back of my hand, most of Alabama. But I can fake it. I can make it sound like I do. So now we have a special weather statement for Heard County. Severe thunderstorm. Wait a minute. Let's see what we got here. Severe thunderstorm warning. Northern Fayette, southeastern Carroll, northeastern Heard. So it is a severe thunderstorm warning for Heard. Coweta County, southwestern Fulton, and northern Clayton County. This warning is in effect until 9 p.m. And it'll take, well, it's already there. So let me go show it to you. Let me switch back. So Carrollton, well, let's let it populate before. Yeah, Carrollton, you're pretty much out of it now. And we're talking about the extreme northeast corner of Heard County. Yellow dirt, where the plant is over there. You're in that area that is in the warning. Wilson's Store, that's in Heard County. And then we get Coweta, which does include Noonan. And that's primarily going to be for the winds that are associated with this storm right along the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms. Once you get through the first 5 minutes of the storm, the severe threat will have passed your area pretty much. And we're looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that warning stretches all the way over to Atlanta. And then that line continues on up toward Roswell. So a lot of weather over in Georgia, but majority of it's in West Georgia now as far as the severe sections are concerned. We still have some heavy rain. Now, I'm beginning to worry about some flooding over here in Clay County because this has been sitting here for a minute. Yeah, it's not moving very quickly. I don't think we see any flooding indications yet, but that area that's moving through Ashland not moving extremely fast. So there could be some momentary localized street flash flooding taking place. And then down here in Chambers County from Lafayette down to Waverly and back over to Lynette, you do have a special weather statement for 40-mile-per-hour winds. You do have some occasional lightning in there and very heavy rainfall moving in on Highway 50. On the west side, 50 is already encompassed. Very heavy rainfall in Lafayette all the way down to Chambers Academy. And then out there on the east side, the heavy rain about to move across 50, moving right into Lynette Valley, West Point, and then eventually off down to the southeast. So that's what we're looking at this evening. We've been on the air now for almost an hour and 45 minutes covering severe weather this afternoon for East Alabama and West Georgia. We're going to continue to watch this, and if we see any reason to come back, if we think that we've got some significant weather, we'll come back and continue with our coverage. Noticed a question out of the corner of my eye about LaGrange and Troup County. You've got a storm moving in, but it's not severe. There it is right there on the screen. This is a strong thunderstorm, but it's below special weather statement criteria, and it's well below severe criteria. But before we wind this up, let me look at the base velocity on it, and I'll just show you. There is very little wind with this section of the storm coming into LaGrange right now. I mean, there could be some 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gust with this, but that's about it. So no, the MO for severe this afternoon has been high wind, and there's none of that in Troup County at the moment. And this, we're looking at a weakening trend here overall with all of these storms. Sun was out for a long time over here from Atlanta back down to the Alabama state line. So a little more instability to work with over here in Georgia. But overall, as the sun continues to go down and it continues to get dark, these storms will start to fade as well. So that's that. And again, we'll watch this real close for the next couple of hours. And if we see anything that we feel like you need to know, then we'll come right back and we'll continue with our coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. Again, please don't forget to support us if you can. And you can do that multiple ways. All the different links are scrolling in the chat room on how you can support us. And at the very least, please go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, because that helps us too. It supports us as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube and make sure you click that little bell so that when we go live to cover severe weather, you'll get that push notification. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning with your prime time forecast. And we'll come right back and continue with live severe weather coverage if conditions warrant, right here on Dr. Don's Weather.